Hello. Well, I was recently given a U-matic video recorder which has the U-matic dub connectors on it. These are a special output port on U-matic machines, some of them, which outputs the luminance and chrominance separately, but not quite as an S-video signal. It's a special dub signal. To get the best out of any U-matic video recorder, you really need a piece of equipment that's going to interpret those signals and turn it into something like S-video or YUV for video capture. And also, a modern time-based corrector can also do a digital dropout compensator. So I have a couple of units that do this. They're made by a company, or were made a long time ago, by a company called Digital Processing Systems. The model is DPS375SP. It's a very highly sought after time-based corrector for use with U-matic, but they're extremely hard to get hold of. I only have the two, and I really would like another one, just in case everyone ever breaks down. But the chances of ever getting one are just about zero.
Special delivery.
So, all right. Thank you, Alex. Okay, let's see what we have in this huge box. Well, it's very big, but not very deep. Well, there we have the DPS375 component TBC frame store. This one looks to be in pretty nice condition, actually. At the back here you can see the dub input signal, and there's also S-video and YUV out. There's two fans here, and one of my units in the past had a defective fan. They're quite noisy, so that's something to look out for. Now, I've said these are quite rare and sought after and therefore valuable. This one I picked up for very little indeed. Why? Because it is apparently dead. So let's see if we can find out what's wrong with it. So I'll start by plugging it into my oscillation transformer. All plugged in there, just be on the safe side. So this is the master on-off switch. That really is dead, isn't it? Okay, let's take the lid off and see if we can find out what the problem might be. You'll remember on a previous video I looked into one of these, and I found a IC in here that I might have actually had something to do with helping to make, because it was made by company that I used to work for. Before I even take the top off, you'll notice the fuse holder top is missing, which would certainly stop it from working. So presumably it has blown the fuse, and then somebody's taken that off and lost it. So we need to try and organise a replacement fuse holder, because I don't have a fuse top for that. So here's our fuse holder, which is missing the top. So here's our fuse holder missing its top, hence its open circuit. Here's the power supply. I imagine that may have a fault that's blown the fuse, though I see there's another fuse here too. There's also a lot of tantalum capacitors in here, and I'm told that they can go short circuit, so that could also be the cause of our problem. I think really before I start I need to sort out this fuse holder. The original fuse was time delay 1 amp, 20mm fuse I think. I've got this from somewhere. We could install that, couldn't we? Okay, I got a fuse holder. My fuse top does not fit this one, so replace that. Replacement 1 amp anti-surge 1¼ inch fuse. We'll fit that in the new fuse holder. I've just briefly done a ohms test on here. That's not a short circuit, so we can plug that back into the power supply. Doesn't mean it won't blow the new fuse, but check for the obvious. On up to the switch, and then on from the switch. Nothing. Oh no, hang on. Oh, it's starting up. That looks promising. We'll see if we can get a colour bar on there. So this is set to bars. Test. Colour bars we have. Hold for left functions, the different test patterns. That's all looking quite promising at the moment. So we need to put this into a system where it has signals from the U-matic machine, and see that we get proper outputs, but it's all looking quite promising. So I've set this up in place of one of my other DPS 375 units, and it's connected to a Sony VO9850 U-matic machine. There are 3 connections we have to make to the inputs to the DPS 375. There's the DUB 7-pin connector we've already been talking about, and 2 BNC cables. The up of these cables is CVBS, or Composite Video Blanking and Sync. The socket for which on these is a bit confusingly labelled PAL. It's to remind us that the DPS 375 Timebase Corrector is not also a standards converter. This is only a PAL device. I believe there was a DPS 275 NTSC model, but I've not found one of those. So why do we need the composite video if the DUB port is providing luma and chroma paths already? I'm not certain, but it may be that the colour burst signal is required. Anyway, if you don't connect this cable, you don't get colour. The lower socket is marked DOC in. That's the RF waveform output from the video recorder. So if the RF signal vanishes for a moment due to a tape dropout, the DPS 375's digital dropout compensator, that's DOC, can try to mask that by repeating previous video lines until the RF signal returns. All video recorders have this function internally, but this digital sort of external method should give better results than an analog dropout compensator. When the DPS 375 has no RF input, it displays HF. Then on the output side, we are presently connected via an S-video cable, which of course gives better results than a composite video signal. So I'm playing a tape. I've configured the input to YC925 for DUB connection. The resulting pictures are excellent. I'm also testing here that the processing amplifier or proc amp controls are working by making adjustments. Everything is looking perfect. It's being captured as DV video on a PC for this demonstration. Well, that's worked out very well. I took a bit of a gamble because of course it could have been completely rubbish. These things can die. I've known of people who've got these things and they develop faults that are almost impossible to fix because there are no schematics available as far as anyone's aware. The manufacturer, Digital Processing Systems, I believe got taken up by a company called Leitch, but service information on these is almost impossible to obtain. Now, to make the best use of this now, I really need another DUB cable because I've got 2 DUB cables on the 2 systems I already have. So going around the back here we can see there's the 7-pin male and female connectors, so I need a cable between those, and I have some information on that cable but I can't obtain the plugs. They're unavailable. So if somebody has a spare DUB cable, please let me know, or indeed if they know where to get these plugs from. I'm very much looking forward to being able to set this up and use this. I'm not going to sell it, but any idea what it's worth now? So I paid almost nothing for it. I think it's worth... You probably wouldn't have too much trouble selling one for £400 or even £500 because of those DUB ports. Any good TBC is worth a lot of money, but these in particular. So I hope you've enjoyed us having a look at this. Do come by again and watch me work on more audio and video technology. Bye for now.